Good morning, everyone. It's 10:35 almost, so we'll get started. Don't forget to silence your gadgets. If you have any papers, since Mr. Curran is not here, he's up north somewhere. Mr. Majerick has bravely assumed that spot where you receive documents. So with that, we're going to begin with an invocation, which I'll do, and then Commissioner Majerick will do the pledge. If you wish to join in either or both, please rise. As you know, I'm rather fond of St. Francis, even though he's been gone for about, I don't know, 1,000 years maybe, no, 800. But his prayer, I think, is still good. Lord, make us instruments of your peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Lord, grant that we may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born unto eternal life. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag and follow after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please do a roll call?
Bell.
He had to leave.
Curran, John, Freeling,
Present.
Harrison,
Present.
Hinkleman. Majerick. Scott. Pittsford.
Here.
Walrath. Werfel. Yarborough. Elliott.
Here. So
We have
11?
10.
Oh, that's right, 10. Jim's gone also. Understand we have some communications. We'll get to those right after the minutes from a week ago. Haven't heard about any changes.
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes from a week
Moved by
ago.
Pittsford, supported by Volrath. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Now, I know there's at least one communication that came through this week.
Two, there was, someone emailed,
Kalkaska County was
we have a
one.
Kalkaska County resolutions from Kalkaska County Board of Commissioners opposing legislation re-emptying local control of aggregate for roads and a resolution opposing septic statewide regulations received on August 4th, 2023. An email from South Central Primary Care Center Community Relations Specialist Lillian Ramirez, Ocilla, Georgia, inviting the BOC for their legislative and community leaders appreciation breakfast to be held on August 10th, received on August 8th, 2023.
I can explain that. There is a Berrien County, Georgia. And maybe we should let this person know that she sent it to Michigan, because they may not know to RSVP unless it gets to the right.
Well, it's a free
place.
breakfast.
Yeah, well, I know, we could get there about a 12 or 13-hour drive, I think. But some breakfasts would be worth that drive. But anyway, could you shoot an email back and tell them it's Michigan and we appreciate the invite, but won't be able to make it?
I think we're already late.
Oh, we are? Oh, okay. Oh, well, gosh. We'd have to rent a bus. Okay, so that's it. We look forward to hearing from them again. Annette, requisitions?
Yes, thank you. So the first, I went around each of the committees and explained that I and Air grabbed the 2 road requisitions from last week's list. So I passed this out to everybody. This has the actual correct road recs on the top. Those are the top two. And then as I understand it, we are gonna move those PO change orders through that were taken off of last week's list. So the one that you have in front of you has a revised total for the PO change orders to include those. And then also I revised the amount on the rec approval for those requisitions, which is actually less than it was before. So does anybody have any additional questions on those?
Anyone?
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Public comments about resolutions, including the added resolution. So we have a total of 3, including the requisitions.
Did we pass this around to the
No. Why don't we? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
If you have anything to say about resolutions, this is now the time. Okay, I think we're safe in moving on. The consent calendar, including the added resolution ending in 8266. Is there a motion? Moved by Freeling, supported by Pitchford. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman. Yes. Major.
Yes.
Hot. Pittsford.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Warfel.
Yes.
Yarble, sorry.
Yes,
And Elliott.
Yes,
10 yeas.
thank you. Okay, so the consent calendar, including the added resolution, is approved. We'll go to committee reports. Madam Chair of Finance, would you like to lead off?
thank you. We met this morning. We had a number of resolutions. One was finance and the other one was, I forgot. What was the other one? Oh, about accepting the
Road payable.
audit report and then the road bills. So those are the things that we did. We had a bid, let me just find the cover. And it was for hot melt. And we had 2 responses, and we have a motion that we make for road commission, and that was done. And one was price per pound, 0.54 cents, and the other company was price per pound, 0.572%. And then we had 3 waivers that we did. And one was for Therapeutics LLC for the sheriff's office. The waiver amount was $180, but it's connected with becoming involved with the medication assisted treatment program. The other one was Maximus US Services annual cost allocation for financial services was $15,900. And then Asset Works is the biannual inventory of capital assets for the county. They count everything, and they've done it for a number of years, so they know what we have and what to look for and how to do it. And the amount is $24,750. So we concurred in the finance committee to do those things. We accepted our minutes, and then we spent a good amount of time with Attorney John Brennan, who was the attorney for the drain commissioner. He was not able to be with us. We've not been able to be, he hasn't met with us at our invitation for a number of times. And so John Brennan talked with us. And what we're looking at possibly is a meeting on the 31st, which is not a regular board meeting, but we are willing to do whatever we need to do to see if we can get things working better. And it will be our finance committee if we're all, available. That ended our meeting. Thank you.
Questions for finance? Okay, who's next today? Mr. Chair of Personnel and Human Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We also met this morning. We had meet our monthly update with Guy Miller from the Health Department, talked about a number of issues. with him. We have a resolution that you'll see next week. This is an amendment to our state contract where they're giving us more money for various things that will need to be spent before the end of September. So we'll see how that goes. We also reviewed and approved the pension rollover and refunds, acted on some board appointments to the mental health board. And then we had a discussion regarding the court clerk wages. And we met with our administrator, talked through some process issues, had some efforts to gather some data. And so we've got that under study for consideration by the board at a later date. And so that would pretty much conclude our meeting.
Thank you. Questions for PHS? Mr. Vice Chair of Admin.
Thank you, Mac. We met early this morning, 8:30, and we had a presentation by Whiteman and the DLR team on some preliminary designs and what we're gonna do with the juvenile center in the future, either building new or updating the old facility, whatever's most cost effective. We're just starting to look at it now. We got a long way to go. We were given some prices that were up there a little ways, but we're not gonna get too disappointed right away because there's a lot of things that can be done, and we're just starting to look at it now. So you'll be seeing more about the juvenile center along with the courts, I think, and the jail, especially in the near future. We resumed our meeting, moving from here down to our regular room out of Grau. Under Sheriff Chuck Height met with us regarding a resolution that you're going to see for opioid use for the jail. It's MAT services, and they're going to be, anyway, we'll talk about that in just a second, because we went through our we had 3 resolutions. One of them we just voted on. We approved this morning on the 911, taking down the VHF equipment. Number 8270 is the one Chuck was talking to us about, the opioid settlement. We'd be agreeing to a 1-year contract with Matt for the services, and we did agree on that one, and you'll be seeing that, I think, next week. And then number 8271, accept the terms of a project agreement received from Michigan Department of Transportation and those funds for the linear trail. You'll be seeing that one next week. And we met with Brian. Brian gave us some more information regarding what we just talked about, more about the juvenile center, the hospital, what needs to be done out there, what could be done. Sacred Heart has some interest in possibly obtaining the building if we get it back from Lakeland. There's a lot more to be done there. So, a lot of that decisions will be made on how we handle our own juvenile center. Because of the services, the water and the sewer and things are combined out there right now. So it's going to be an issue to be resolved in the future. So anything else, committee? That's about all we got. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for admin? Commissioner reports, John.
I attended the legislative forum put on by the Human Services group here in Berrien County. This was a combined forum with Cass and Van Buren. Then also attended and chaired the meeting of the Pokagon Healthcare Advisory Board.
No report.
I have
No report.
I attended yesterday the public safety meeting. Brian will give us an update on that. We also had the opioid meeting. We talked about the MAT program with the jail, and everybody in the opioid committee is in support of that as well. And then after that, I had the Michigan Works meeting, which we got some, report on unemployment is down a little bit in Berrien at 3.7%. There's still more jobs though than people. And the other thing they showed us is that we're starting to get close to the employment rate of pre-COVID. We're not quite there, but we're almost to that same rate that we were employing people before COVID. So it's taken, almost 3 years to get back to even the same level, let alone we're still missing a lot of people not working. So, and the problem age group is that 16 to 24-year-olds. They're completely missing from the workforce. That's my report.
This week I attended the Berrien County Planning Commission meeting. It was fairly benign. We approved or recommended to Lincoln Township Charter for some text amendments that they had. And then we also did some review of rezoning both in Hager Township for a parcel to be rezoned from agricultural residential to commercial. It aligns with their master plan. And then also in Bertrand Township, rezoning was discussed there as well. And our recommendation was in concurrence with those local planning bodies. We also had a discussion about Berrien County's master plan and about the section that lists about infrastructure. There was some discussion about clean energy, solar in particular, and whether or not we wanted to look at some of the best practices that are out there so that we will have things available and ready for local units of government as they are working through their solar ordinances and discussion, what that could look like from the county as assistance and help. So that'll be further discussion, and I'll bring that forward to the board as it kind of develops and come to fruition. I too also attended the opioid settlement task force. One thing that I can say is that in 2 weeks' time, we'll likely have the first draft for the task force to review and kind of kick the tires on and see how that sort of rolls out before that recommendation comes before this board. I think we have 3 meetings before they're hoping to have all of that work done, and we're still on that timeline to be able to have that happen. Outside of that, I am in full force for prep for fair. And next week is the Berrien County Youth Fair. And I hope you all have received passes and that you'll make plans to come out to enjoy. It looks like it will be, you will be receiving a pass to be able to go.
And
Yeah.
everybody should have received it by
Yep.
regular mail this week at home.
I did.
And it's a great way of celebrating the youth of Berrien County and the work that they do. And I will certainly be out there, and you can come visit me in the dairy barn. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
I have no report.
Brian.
Mr. Chair, actually, if I may, I just want to point out that Commissioner Ott had no report this week, but the former commissioner who had been appointed to the Sewage Appeals Board would always give a very detailed report of his exciting times on the Sewage Appeals Board, which did meet.
Did you go?
Yeah.
You went? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we had one appeal, which was the Overberg, you know what that is. Yeah, but it was a good meeting, my first one, and it was pretty simple, anybody could do it.
Alex, I can't recall, but I believe at one of those hearings, I experienced something close to biblical illumination.
All I can say is Thaddeus is probably the smartest person, he seems to know everything at every meeting.
Yes.
I mean, we are lucky at Thaddeus, even though he just threw me under the bus. I give him kudos.
Yeah. I guess you're getting more money now.
Yeah, I would go for that.
We're gonna cut Alex's pay to do it, but that's another
Yeah,
step.
you're not gonna get much of a raise.
That's true. Okay, now, Brian, top that.
There's no topping that. This is the first time I've had tears in my eyes from laughter, so thank you. Real quickly, the
this week we hosted the second meeting of the Public Safety Committee. And the committee continues to work through the public safety millage, what options are out there for the committee to consider. The intent is for the committee to put together some scenarios and then bring them forward to the board for consideration. We've got some time. This is a 2024 ballot issue, so we're very intentionally taking time to really consider all options and make the best recommendations possible. So that was meeting number 2. We'll have another meeting coming in the near future. As it relates to Fair Week, I'm thrilled to note that Fair Leadership was willing to accommodate a county staff meeting. So our department heads have been invited to go to the fair. We normally have our department head meeting on Tuesday mornings. So next Tuesday, we're going to have it at the fair. We won't be able to accommodate any Zoom attendees. So each member, each department head and elected official has been encouraged to get in their car and get down to the fair and take a few minutes to enjoy it. Fair Leadership is also offered, in addition to allowing us free access, they've also offered to host us in one of the rooms and then provide a quick history of the fair. So it's really, really nice and it's greatly appreciated. I'll send you all a picture of what the group looks like. And that is all I have to say.
Dave has my
Can
pen.
you address the presence of the county at the fair? Or do we have somebody?
Oh, yeah. So the sheriff's office has a really active presence. The health department will be present. They've got brochures and handouts. Road department puts on a very large display. And last year, at kind of the peak of staffing challenges, the road department did an active recruitment and ended up, I think it was a total of 5 equipment operators that ended up being hired because of their applications coming from visiting the fair, visiting the road department's booth. So it's something that is a really nice thing for the overall county. We have other departments there. 911 is there, and I know I'm forgetting someone, but heavy presence. Animal control, yep. Motor pool? I think he's there as a reserve for the sheriff. I'll happily answer any other questions. Otherwise, that's it for me.
Okay, general public comments. Anyone have anything?
Ezra Scott, New Buffalo Township. I'm very happy to be here today. I came for the sole purpose of hearing the Sewage and Septic Appeals Board. It's very important to me and it should be to all of us. And I'd like to thank our county attorney. On another item that I'd like to discuss with this board, when it comes to Berrien County, Georgia, I think that this board and this county needs to be cognizant of that. And we do need to send a goodwill ambassador on a road trip down there to address this issue with our neighboring county of the same name. And I would think that Annette would be the absolute perfect person to send down, with the pen that's the Berrien County that we hand out and maybe mug and t-shirts, things like that. And just to spread goodwill. And I think that could come out of the county commissioner's travel budget, just as being the designee, since none of the commissioners do want to go. They're all so busy, but I'm sure. Yeah. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Yes, sir.
Counselor Hager Township. Berrien County with Georgia. Yep. Where is the zip code? That's why we have zip codes, 49022 or something. I can't imagine it came up here unless we got to put it up there. Or somebody pulling our leg, right? Yeah, okay. Now, last month's meeting, notice how many people were there? And why do you think there were so many people there? Because the meeting was at night. These people were working during the day, were they not? They can't, you see any of them here? Why didn't you give them time off to come down here? You guys don't want it. I think you do that on purpose, just to aggravate us, just to keep the people, yeah. It's not funny, you know. I think you ought to put that on the ballot. Ask the people of the county, the voters, when they would like to have their meetings. You know, you look at this thing here, all the township meetings are when? In the evening. Now, why is that? I can't get through to you guys. You should have the meetings in the evening so we can attend it, so more people could have in this room probably get. I told you about trying to get a different room. So I suggest you ask the people of the, put it on the ballot. I don't know how you're gonna board it, but ask them when they would like to have the meeting. Now, it's called democracy. What you guys are doing here, you think you're a bunch of dictators. You go by your little rule that you have, your bylaws, right? Like you present your own.
Speaking of rules, your 2 minutes are up.
I didn't hear anything go off, did I?
I kept my timer. Curran's not here today. We look forward to the next time.
That's another thing right there. 2 minutes is not enough. Give me 4.
All right. Anyone else wish to be heard? Okay, that concludes general public comments. We had to give you time to get back to your chair, so. Any other business? I think it's Ray's birthday, but we can't sing to him. So, happy birthday, Ray. Announcements, no full board meeting on the 31st, finances meeting. Don't forget the fair. We are adjourned at 28 minutes. Thank you.